Okay, so it looks like we're using microphones so that things can be recorded today. So we'll be like, well, I can go around and do some fun stuff there. Anyway, and I need my clicker. All right, now I have a problem because I talk with my hands, and so I've got a clicker in one hand and a microphone in the other, so I'm going to be squawking like a chicken, I think. So, all right. Well, again, I'm Mary. And
I'm Michelle.
All right, and I have a question for you. Have you ever done like an online quiz to figure out what superhero you are? Maybe, I don't know. Because maybe you are Batman. Practical, logical mastermind. Anybody a Batman? Okay, got a Batman over here. Maybe you are highly intelligent and cocky. Do we have any Iron Men in here? Come on, be honest. No, nobody's going to admit? All right. Do we have any defenders, people who are just and true like Superman or Supergirl? Okay. Yeah, okay, we got one, yeah. Let's put those tights and capes on. That's great. All right. Maybe you are calm and sensitive 1 minute and then just green with rage the next. Anybody? I know? Okay, yeah. That's good, yeah. And then there's my favorite. Maybe you are Wonder Woman, charismatic, high morals. I just love the powerful Wonder Woman. All righty. So it's fun to think about. But, superheroes may not do it for you, so maybe fruit does. Did you know you can go to Spoon University and you can figure out what kind of fruit you are? All right. Bananas, if you are funny, you're a banana. Okay, there you go. All right, anybody in here unstoppable like an orange? Got any oranges? All right. Okay. We just had Valentine's Day. Who were our strawberries? Who was romantic? All right, there we go. Very good. Oh, if you are cold and heartless, you're a lemon. And it's really funny to me because I've always thought lemons were like, sunshine and, a summer day, front porch, lemonade. And no, cold and heartless. Sour. That's right. And then if you're an apple, you are outgoing and cheery. Do we have any apples today? So, okay, got an apple. All right, so it may not be fruit. Maybe it's dinosaurs. This is my grandson's favorite. All right, you might be fierce and savage like a raptor. Okay, you might be calm and peaceful like a brontosaurus. Or you just might have really short arms. Anybody? It's funny. We actually would probably take a quiz to figure out what kind of potato we are. I am an Irish spud, very pale, little lumpy here and there. Okay, so I'm the Irish spud. All right. The thing is, when we look at personality, we think about it in so many ways, but oftentimes we don't think about it in light of how we relate to money, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And because we're always trying to figure out who we are, we're also trying to figure out, who should I listen to? And when it comes to listening to people about money, a lot of times you're going to get advice that's vastly different. You might have somebody say, put everything on a credit card and get all the points, or no, never use a credit card, always use cash. Or you might have somebody say, if you're going to put your money somewhere, put it in a financial institution, in a bank or a credit union. Or, no, use an envelope system and use cash that way, a shoebox, whatever it may be. Don't trust those banks and such. Or, how are you going to balance things? Are you going to balance to the penny? I remember when I used to run a checkbook. Anybody remember the old checkbook registers? If I couldn't find a penny, I would spend hours until I found that thing. It was crazy. But then now I'm like, I'll just use my mobile app. And it's interesting how all the advice is different. So you have to really think about what are people telling you. And then you got to figure out what works for me. Because there's a Batman in here, there's a Hulk in here, there's a lemon, a banana. There's all sorts of different personalities, so not everything works the same for everybody else. But I am interested. We do hear wise advice at times. So somebody give me a piece of wise advice you've had with finances. Anything. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, okay? That's a piece of advice, yeah?
I would say shape your mindset and what you value, because what you value is what you spend.
Oh, really figure out what you're valuing and your mindset on what you value, because where your value is where your money goes. Yeah, what else? Don't spend more than you make. Okay, so it's really interesting to look at all of these different things, and there's always, do the budget. There's all sorts of different bits of advice that we're given, okay? And all that advice is great, but we got to remember there just really are best practices that when you think about all this advice, they might land inside these. Know your money ins and outs. What's coming in, what's going out? What's that the concept of? A budget. Sorry, no, it's kind of like the idea of a budget. Keep a cushion. Okay, what idea is that? Savings, emergency fund, things like that. Tell you what, during COVID, if people had a good emergency fund, they tended to be okay, right? People who didn't really were hurting, and we saw that in real time. All right, spend less, earn more. Somebody actually already said that. Stay out of debt. That's that concept. Okay, so those are some best practices, but how you hit those best practices really depend on you, okay? I like to liken this to puzzles. Anybody in here ever do puzzles? I love doing puzzles, okay? Give me one. It's awesome. Well, the way I do puzzles might be different than the way you do puzzles. So best practice, if you're going to do a puzzle, how should you start? Color coordinated, edges. Anything else? Okay, so it's the concept. Would you say, when you color coordinate, do you do it just like, do you look for your edges first, or you just first go out and do your color coordination? Okay, so you're doing color and then finding your edges, and you put your edge together first, and then you do that, okay? Anybody in here not put the edge together first? Okay, so you just start putting things together. So does Michelle. Okay. Okay, so there you go. And depending on the puzzle, I sometimes have to do that. But I will tell you, I have a system, and it is crazy. So when I start my puzzles, I get my little paper plates out that have writing on them that say all in, 1 out, 2 out corners, 3 out, all out, and then edges. And I literally sit there. I take my whole box, 1,000 pieces, and that's what I do first. I separate by shape, because I actually see shape more easily than I see color. Okay? So I start with shape. And then when I know how big my piles are and what needs to go first, then I start laying out my pieces. This is where I had one of the guys that works for me saw that, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, you're psychotic." Which is okay, I am, I don't care. So anyway, so here we are, I lay these out, and then I'll look at a section, I'm like, oh, I might find a little section I want to do, and I can just scan and go through and grab all those, and then I see the shapes, I keep them in their shapes, and then I just start putting that section together. And I tell you what, and Michelle's seen me do this at places, when I lay it out like that, I can literally go, boom, 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 and just because I can see the shape, I can see what it's supposed to be, and I'm pretty good at just placing it. But this would drive most people in this room crazy. So we don't ask you to do that. But that's my personality, okay? So Michelle, what does that have to do with finances?
Right, so we're going to find out that it has a lot to do with your finances. And maybe you never thought about how your personality affects your finances. But the what's and the whys are all about you and how you spend and save and budget. All right, so today we're going to look at reflecting on how we save, spend, and budget. We're going to discover the 5 categories that influence our money personality. We're going to explore the Common Sense Financial Empowerment Platform, and then learn ways to engage with Commonwealth Credit Union.
Because that's who we are.
All right, we're going to start with reflecting. with a little activity that we like to call What's Your Meme? All right, the first one we're going to look at is with spending. So we're going to show some memes, and then you can just raise your hand or shout out if you relate to any of these. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay, go.
All right, so is shopping your happy place? Can anybody relate to that? That's me. It always puts me in a better mood, so yeah. All right. Are you someone who's always on the lookout for a sale?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Bargain hunter. All right. Maybe you're someone who feels guilty when you spend, so you try to avoid those credit card bills. Maybe you hide them from your spouses. Maybe you're someone who likes to spend your money on experiences with family and friends.
What you value.
Yep, that's true. Maybe you're someone who likes to, buy things that maybe you don't need just because it's shiny and sparkly and new. That's a lot, yes. All right, let's look at the memes for saving. See how you relate here. Are you someone who just stays home and saves money that way by avoiding life?
And doing a puzzle.
And doing a puzzle, that's true. Maybe you have the money mindset of, if you save me today, I will save you tomorrow. That's a good mindset to have. Are you someone who's needing to save money, but you see shoes? Got to have those shoes, right? Or whatever it may be. Maybe it's not shoes, maybe it's something else. And then again, I can't save any money because my friends and family keep asking me to go out and do things with them, right? I think that's sometimes all of us, right? How about you're just letting compound interest do its thing?
Hey.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, so that you're going to be the king of what? Your financial futures. Yep. All right, let's look at memes for budgeting. That dreaded word, right? All right, maybe you're someone who says, budget? Why bother? I don't even have enough money to budget. Anybody? No? Maybe you're like, uh-oh, I don't even know what a budget is or how it works.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
y'all hear what he said? If somebody says, I don't have enough money to budget, that tells them you should be budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
But how they budget might be dependent upon their personality. That's right.
Maybe you're already budgeting like a boss. There we go. We've got a boss over here. Spreadsheets. Maybe you're like Mary over here, and your life is too colorful to stay on budget.
If I told you what all has happened since January 1 this year financially, it is insane. So anyway, keep it going. Let's see.
That's true. Maybe you've done a budget and it feels like you got a raise when you saw all that extra money that you could be saving.
Well,
Just seeing where your money's going in and out. Yeah?
yeah, it's interesting. I've actually, all those memes, there's probably one point or another in my life that I've identified with each of those. And it's interesting, would you say that your personality might be a little bit different than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever? We settle into life in different ways. And so you might identify with all of those. One of the things I love, though, is trying to figure out where you are right now and how you identify with money, because it is a love-hate relationship sometimes. I don't know if you feel that, but it certainly is. So we actually have an assessment. You have on you're not going to do it right now, but you have something about our Common Sense financial empowerment platform. And there's a money personality assessment on there that we encourage you guys to do. And this is what this is sort of based on. So if you go in and do that assessment, you're going to actually see for yourself like how you feel about money, your emotions about money. You're going to look at what your focus is. Are you present focused? Are you just future focused? Whatever it may be. You're going to look and see if you have a viewpoint that's hopeful or wary in your outlook. And then you're going to also figure out what influences you or who influences your money decisions and your spending. And also it gives you an extra little tidbit of a little piece of character about your character that impacts your wallet. So it's really a lot of fun to do that assessment. It's 40 questions, takes 5 or 10 minutes to do, but it gives you, oh my goodness, you get your 3 greatest strengths, your 3 greatest challenges, and action steps and content that can support you as you grow in each one of these categories. It's really interesting. But since we don't have time to do the assessment today together, what we're going to do is just talk about it a little bit. So let's see, how do you feel about money? So look at these words on the screen. You've got cautious, guarded, anxious, angry, sure, relaxed, afraid, cheerful, whatever it may be. What are you guys identifying with? Anybody want to say, oh, that one, yeah, I can feel that one. Anxious, yeah, that's one that people get a lot. What was that? Uncertain, okay. Yeah. Cautious is a big one that people end up getting. Yeah, kind of how you feel, yeah.
For me, where I was in certain parts of my life, in my 20s, I wasted a lot of money. But now, as I'm older and I have 2 kids, I'm more cautious and I'm thinking about them as I'm spending too, because I want to leave something for them and have them do something as well.
Yeah, and again, that goes back down to, what he was saying about how, earlier on he was, a little, more carefree, let's say, with your finances, and now more careful because of what you value with your family and what's important. And it's interesting to see that. So you might start out a little bit relaxed, but become more cautious as things change in your personality. So it's an interesting look. So let's look at the next one. Outlook. So this is, what is your viewpoint of money? Are you skeptical? Somebody's always trying to scam you. You don't trust anybody. Do you feel pretty confident? Like, if anything comes my way, I can handle it. Anybody got that? So, okay, good. And you might be very pragmatic. You might just be negative and always, have you ever met somebody who has enough money, they're very comfortable, but yet they have a poor mindset? So and that's part of personality. It may not be their true circumstances, and part of that is your outlook. So anybody have anything to share on this one that they think is valuable for everybody?
They might feel that way because maybe they were actually poor before and they don't want to go back to that.
Yeah, and my husband is a good example. He actually was outhouse poor when he was growing up, and they were constantly having money run through their fingers. The dad would, he'd get some extra money and buy a huge TV. How big they might have been way back when, but not pay the electric bill. And so they can't even watch the huge TV. So it's that type of thing, and so he wasn't making good decisions because he didn't understand himself and what it meant, and he valued the wrong things, it seems like. So anyway, my husband is one of those that has that. He forgets that, okay, we've had a lot of, again, if I told you all the stuff going on right now, it is just insane financially. But it's like, we're okay though. We're okay because we've prepared for things, and that makes a difference. But I have a totally different mindset than he does, okay? Let's look at focus. Where do you look? And you might be somebody who lives in the past. And you might get stuck with that. You might feel like, you may have been like, you might have had all these regrets from what you've done in the past and not been able to get past that to change. And so you keep self-sabotaging. That could happen, right? It's interesting to see how different mindsets can change what you do with money. But anybody in here very present focused? Okay? Living in the moment? You're going to be like, you're walking, to check out, and you're like, oh yeah, that does look good. And you're grabbing those things, right, okay. Yeah, I understand that. Who is future focused though? Okay, and that is, you can be a blend. You can be a little bit of both. You can be very future focused to make sure that you are taking care of yourself ahead. The concept of paying yourself first. Okay, paying yourself for those issues coming up. And, it's interesting, if you go too far on one end or the other, that's where, if you're losing that balance, that's where you end up having issues with your finances and your relationships. So, all right, how about influence? So what impacts your decisions? Who wants to admit what? We're all friends here. It's okay. We're just recording this for everybody to hear later. Okay, an outfit to wear to an event. So you need somebody to, or you desire somebody to give you an opinion, or you feel like everybody's judging you type thing, or whatever, or what?
More like, it's going to be more fun if I wear what I think would work best for this scenario. If that makes sense.
Okay, so you're going to be influenced by somebody else telling you, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, well, I do it for myself.
And you do it for yourself too. Okay, yeah, because I'm also thinking, now let me ask you this. If you are influenced by, wanting to, that would be an appearance type thing, okay? So will that make you spend more money sometimes? Yeah. Yeah, so it's interesting how it will, domino and impact. So what else up here? Look at all these words up here: independent, elusive, me and only me, social, family, coworker, Hollywood. Anybody influenced by Hollywood? Super easy to be. What's popular? And now it's not even Hollywood. It's all the, like TikTok and, all the
Facebook.
social media. I mean, man. Yes? Huh? Pinterest. Oh, and they just always look so perfect, don't they? And it just makes me mad because it never works out that way for me. So anyway, do you see how, and you might just be thinking about yourself and not necessarily telling us, but you can see how it makes a difference, right? It's so interesting how these things impact your decisions. But then you also look at, what's your thing? What is that thing about you that really does influence your decisions? What impacts your wallet? Are you fun-seeking? So you're going to spend more money on fun. This gets down to, what do you value? Are you generous? So you're all, Michelle, I'm going to tell on you, Michelle is one of the most generous people I know. She is always giving of money and time to help others. She just has that heart, So, yeah, there she is. There's organized. You might be able to tell by my puzzling that I land in that category for things, sort of. But I'm also I'm organized, but I'm also so colorful in my life that I can't keep on budget. So I'm organized enough to kind of know what's going on and know where all the papers are, but my husband pays the bills so that I don't forget to do that. So it's a balance. So you're going to see all these different things. Can you think of anything about you that, yeah, that influences my money? Thinking about, yeah.
Going back to what you said about Michelle being generous with her money, one of the things that I found when I made my budget, and I had another line item that I had to incorporate was in their family and friends into my budget, because when you're in a family and a lot of people know that you're the responsible one, you're the one that everybody comes to when they get in a bind. So I learned to actually incorporate that into my budget, so them getting in the bind and me helping them didn't put me in a bind.
Exactly. And it's also the concept, too, that when you are helping friends and family that are in a bind, honestly, you may never get that money back.
Right.
And you just have to have the idea, okay, this is part of my budget. This is something I am giving. And if you are always thinking about, I need to get that back, I need to get that back, what's that do to you? Right? So that can be your personality, but it's hard to live in that. So it's really great, and I love what you said, that you made that category. Now, let me ask, is there anybody else here that wouldn't need to have that in their budget? Yeah. So Will over there, yeah. So he may not need that in his budget. And that's what's so cool. A lot of times people will come in and do a financial education seminar, and you've probably experienced this too. Not that you're doing it, but you've heard people where they get there and they tell you exactly how to do it, and it's their way, and that's the right way. Is that true? Why do people have such a hard time sticking to a budget? Self-control is some, but it's because they're not doing it inside their own personality. And so if you know that you're change-seeking, or you're somebody who's the helper, you create a category for that. If you know you're somebody who needs spontaneity in your life, and so budgets just sound terrible, then budget for some spontaneity. Make sure you have that in there. So there's a lot of things you can do to help you out. So, all right, so let's go on. I just get so excited. So what I want to do, this next little bit, usually I would get on and just go through a tour of our financial education platform. But I really want you guys to get your phones out And I want you to do it, because we're going to just play around a little bit together. So there's a QR code up there that you can scan, or you could just go to ccuky.enrich.org, and it will pull up our Common Sense site. And if you have any issues, let me know. Michelle and I can walk around. Will can walk around too if he needs to, although he's taking pictures. Yeah, oh, no, that was what, okay, I couldn't remember which QR code, yeah. So the sweepstakes, that's the one that we are sending you to right now. So our Common Sense platform, it handles everything from managing money, paying for school, finding a career. Anybody got kids about to go to college or in college or whatever, or whatever it may be, there's all sorts of things. Or you want to further your education, there's all sorts of information in here. And then, finding a career is also the concept of how do you raise and how you rise in your career as well. But one of the things we have, besides the money personality, is there is a monthly sweepstakes on this. The company that we utilize to run our Common Sense platform does this nationwide, and they have a pool of $1,000 that they give away every single month. We actually just had somebody a couple of months ago win $250. And the way they did it is they went in, they started using the platform, they set some streaks, and they earned sprouts. They turned their sprouts in for chances to win, and they won. So I wanted to let you know that you actually can get rewarded, or the potential for being rewarded, for just getting in there and doing some financial wellness. And it's great. It deals with financial knowledge, which is really important. But really, it also helps with financial capability. On the platform also is a money mindfulness hub, where you can go in and you can take a financial stress score, kind of see where you are, and get help on how do I alleviate some of the stress, how do I, what do I do with that? So it's really valuable, the types of things that it has for you. One of the first things it's going to ask you to do, and you don't have to do that, we can let you skip that, probably popped you into, if you actually went in and did the sign up now, it's going to ask you to do a financial wellness checkup. I encourage you to do that at some point, but we won't do that right now. It's about 40 questions, takes 5 or 10 minutes to do, but what it does is it gets a pulse on where you are and kind of where you want to go, and then it helps the platform will run its algorithms and use artificial intelligence to help move you towards your goals. So it's really kind of cool the way it works. So I encourage you to go in, because what I want to do, I want to show you some of the stuff on the platform. So if you go in and register, it's totally free. You don't have to worry about that. You go in, if you are a member of Commonwealth Credit Union, you would register as a CCU member. If you are not, just register as a guest. Anybody can do it. It's okay. And once you've registered, you can go in and use it. Like I said, it's going to try to make you do the financial wellness checkup, but click on up near the top left. I think there should be those 3 lines, or there should be a skip checkup somewhere. And Michelle, can you walk around and help people? So just skip the checkup for now, because I want you guys to get to Ernie.
You can.
Because I want you to see what all is on this
account
platform.
Or no? Okay. You can push that one and then put in your stuff there. Yeah, yep. Does anybody need help? I don't anything. Yeah. Okay, so did you already skip the checkup? Let's see. It's been a while since your last checkup. Oh, so you've already done the checkup. Okay. Oh, okay.
So you've already been in here. So just so you should be
there's
on your
Ernie.
dashboard. So
Yeah.
go to your dashboard. Oh, so Ernie's on there that way. You don't need to do the checkup.
Yeah, you don't have to
could
do
go
it
back
again.
and do it if you wanted to. But okay, once you get in, just start clicking around. It looks a little different on a phone than what I'm used to, but you can look at ways to learn. You can see there is a plethora of information on here. It's really the concept of a cradle-to-grave type of financial wellness platform where if you're somebody who's dealing with their first child, it'll have stuff about that. If you're somebody who's dealing with elderly parents, it'll have stuff about that, and anything in between. It is crazy. But what we want you to do is, you can look at all that, but we want to get you to Ask Ernie. And do you all see that? Yeah.
So I don't know, I got to your home because I skipped.
Okay, that's fine. Go there. So Ask Ernie dashboard. So once you get to your home, hit the 3 lines in the top left corner, and you see the Ask Ernie dashboard. So Ernie is our AI on the platform, and it is a place where you can just ask Ernie a question, some sort of knowledge question about financial literacy that you might want to know about, or you might want to know how to explain to somebody. I'll give you an idea. I did a workshop several months ago, and a woman comes up to me afterwards, and she goes, "I'm really embarrassed because I should know this." She's 50 years old. She says, "How does a credit card work?" I mean, she honestly did not know. How many people would be too embarrassed to actually ask that question? And you notice she didn't ask it in front of everybody else. So we love the AI on here with Ernie because there are things. Do you guys all think you know everything that you need to know about your finance, about the financial world and financial literacy, all that? Oh man, there's so much to learn all the time. And there are times I'm like, I really should know that. Oh, let me ask Ernie. So what Ernie will do, ask Ernie a question, and Ernie will then, if there is information on the site that Ernie can pull from, he'll gather some things, give you a little bit of an explanation of whatever, an answer to that question, and then offer you some different pieces of material. So what I want to do is I want to hear from you guys, what are some things you're trying to ask Ernie, and what's Ernie telling you? So anybody give me anything.
I'll put in how to get out of credit card debt.
Okay, how to get out of credit card debt. So did Ernie give you some good stuff?
Just like he gave me like 5 different things. Here, pay off the ones that you're close to being paid off. Go ahead and pay those off. Negotiate rates first. Consider your own comfort level. Use free ways to pay off credit card debt. Utilize cashback rewards and online rebate programs to pay off debt.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things. Then if you keep scrolling, you'll see also you can click on one of those links, and it's going to give you a piece of content that you can look at, and it gives you an article or a video or a course, whatever it may be. So there's a lot of cool stuff. Anybody else have a question they asked Ernie?
How do I make a budget?
Okay, how do I make a budget? Did Ernie give you a pretty decent answer there?
Yes. Do you want me to read it?
I mean, you can.
Yeah. To make a budget, start by listing your essential expenses like utilities, housing, groceries, transportation, debt, repayment, and insurance. Then track your income to see your highs and lows. Create a simple month-to-month budget based on your minimum expenses. Save when you have extra income and have a plan for additional funds. Keep track of all expenses to stay on top of your budget. Would you like more details on any specific steps in creating a budget?
Yeah, and then you can keep interacting with them. But if you click on one of those links, that'll take you to a piece of content that you can use. And there's a whole mini course in here that is, it's my budget and I'm sticking to it. And it's really cool. It has a budgeting tool inside the course that if you do it while you're inside the course, if you go and stand alone do the budgeting tool, what you saved in the course is saved in the tool. And you can use that tool ongoing. And some really great, you need to look at that tool. It's some good stuff. So there's a lot of great things. If so Ernie has some great things. There's also, like I said, there's mini courses, there's tools, there's articles, there's infographics, there's videos. So if you know anybody who is going to school, who's currently in college, going to grad school, senior or junior, who's looking for scholarships, we have a scholarship search on here, and it's a nationwide scholarship, so there's a lot of things out there, and I kid you not, I found one on here several years ago for $650,000, and it was for somebody going into medical school. But I also know a kid who did a TikTok video and got $2,000. I don't know what the video was about, but hey, he looked it up, he got a scholarship. You know, there are resources on there. So there's that. I mean, there are so many different things. But now that you have access to this is yours to play with, to use. It really will, it touches just about anything. I don't know, Michelle, is there anything else you want to share about the site or encourage them to look at real quickly?
I can't think of anything particular. The tools are amazing. And when she mentioned the budgeting tool, there's also, if you look on the side of that, you can print it out into like an Excel sheet if you're a pen and paper person, because I like to write my stuff out. So there's really good resources. And then it'll give you suggested content too to follow up on that. So it's just, of course we're partial to it, but it is a really good site to have, a good resource to have.
Yeah,
sure.
and one of the things I love about Ernie is Ernie keeps it safe because he pulls only from the world of the platform. So we know it's compliant, it's, you know, it's information that it's not just, you know, Joe Schmo's idea, you know, top 10 tips on how to get rich or whatever, you know, coming into the answers. So we want to make sure that what you read is good information and safe. So we trust this company that we work with, and it's just really good.
And they like to keep everything current too. So like when all of the FAFSA information changed, they went in and changed all of that too. So you know that that's up to date.
Yeah. So it's good. So that is our gift to you today. So as we wanted to make sure you were aware of that. And, go those three hamburgers, go into tools. Click on, is it ways to learn or tools? Let me look. I need to look at somebody's phone. I'm trying to do this by memory. So if you go into the three lines at top, go into mindfulness and click on personality. Mindfulness and personality, that's the money personality assessment. So we encourage you all to go in and do that and see what your personality actually is. So, and it really does give you a lot of information. So, all right, that is the platform that is our gift to you. So, we also want to share some ways to engage with Commonwealth Credit Union, and I know Will might be able to pop in here, but he's like, I don't know. Let me ask you this. Do you know the difference between a credit union and a bank? Credit unions are owned by its members. Okay, what else? What does that mean, though? Owned by its members? Because it's a cooperative. And they can be local. A lot of them feel very local. We've got larger credit. Commonwealth Credit Union is one of the largest credit unions in Kentucky. So we're local, but we have the ability to be all sorts of places, which is really great. What are some other things about the difference between a credit union and a bank? What about profit status? One's for profit, one's not for profit. Which one? Credit union's not for profit, where a bank is a for-profit institution. Okay. What about the board of directors? How much does a board of directors member at a bank get paid? Yeah, I have no idea. It's a lot of money, though. But I do know how much does a board of directors member at a credit union get paid? Zero. See, you know this. This is awesome. Nothing, because they're a member. They're part of that cooperative, and so they are giving back. And that idea of the cooperative act helps us, help one another. So we are a credit union. Whoa, I got really big on the mic. Okay. And then, we're a credit union for you, too. So what's cool to me about credit unions as a whole, do you know what their philosophy is in general? It's the philosophy of people helping people. and which I think is a really great philosophy, because it's the concept of we're pooling our resources together to make things better for you and you and you and you and everybody in here, and even for our community. So the people helping people concept with Commonwealth Credit Union is we say we better lives through our passion to serve. So we're serving you guys today. We really literally served you some Jason's Deli. So, so that's the concept. Now at CCU, I don't know if you are members of credit unions yet. You can be a member of a credit union and also bank, and it's all, we always feel like this is our quote, sales pitch time, which we hate to, say it's our sales pitch time, but it is a disservice if we talk about financial wellness without making sure you are aware of some things that we have that will help with your financial capability. So we have different things. We have, if you like using a debit card and you don't want to keep a high balance in your checking account, but you use your debit card all the time, we have this cool thing called Roundup Checking. Anybody use a debit card? I know, all the time? Yeah, I do. I love the Roundup. So we have this one where you swipe your debit card, it rounds the transaction up to the next nearest dollar, and it throws the spare change of the transaction from your checking account into its own little savings account. So you go, you get a soda somewhere for $1.06. They get paid their $1.06, but you know that 94 more cents gets pulled out of your checking account to pop into that savings. So you actually have the possibility of earning up to $250 a year by using your debit card with this particular account, because we do certain matches and dividends and things like that. So the first one's the biggest. So we watch that first 90 days, all those different roundups that are popping into that savings account, and then we match you at the end of that, penny for penny, 100% of what you had put in there, up to $250. You can't go crazy on me. And then annually, on your anniversary date, you get a 5% match, up to $250. And then you also get a 5% dividend of your average daily balance of whatever is in that account on December 31st. So it's a great way just to kind of save money without feeling it. My husband and I have been doing it for 8 years now, I guess, and we've got like $3,000 in there that's just our spare change and all the extras, just because we just haven't touched it. But I know people have fixed a flat tire, gone on a cruise, whatever it is, with their Roundup. So it's really cool. But if you're somebody who likes to use your debit card all the time, but likes to keep a high amount of money in your checking and get a really good return on it, we have something called power checking, and it's tiered kind of like a money market is, where the larger lump sum you have in there, you get more interest on it. And then if you're making 20 debit transactions a month, then that kicks up the interest a little bit more. If you have a loan with us, whether you're actively using it or not, but you just have it on, have a CCU loan, it kicks it up a little bit more. And then I'm trying to think if there was something else too. Is there something else on the power checking I'm missing? E-statements. Oh, e-statements. You gotta do e-statements. Pops it up. So that's another interesting thing too. So it pays more than our money market does if you do all that stuff together. We do the money market and the Roundup because we kind of play around. And you might be somebody who wants to do credit cards too, where you get points and things like that. But we have a lot of interesting things at the credit union. We talked about the differences between credit unions and banks, but how are they the same? They're both financial institutions. They both offer checking, savings, loans, all the same things, even some retirement planning, whatever it may be. So there is some similarity there. So yes.
I would say too, credit union is nonprofit, but that doesn't mean they're not have to make money.
Oh yeah. So and they're not. So a credit union is a not-for-profit. It's not a nonprofit. So they're not a credit union isn't a charity like you would think. It's not like you wouldn't donate to a credit union to have something you've done for your taxes. But the concept is the money isn't for profit where it's paying this group of owners for that. It's not going to be traded, on the stock exchange, whatever it may be. It is something where, since it is a not-for-profit, it gives us the power to be able to do more things. Now, we do charitable things, And we have a Bettering Lives Fund. You see my Ask Me Why I Go Red? This is for the American Heart Association, because February is American Heart Association month. And so we always do something big for them, and lots of different things. We give to the, YMCA Black Achievers. We do, I don't know, there's just, I don't know, Will and Michelle could probably talk about, we do Red Cross. Do what? Shriners, Make-A-Wish Foundation. We sponsor some Wish Kids and do some really cool things like that. And that's because the cooperative nature of everybody makes us more powerful to better lives in that way. And it's really cool. And I know that some larger institutions, some banks, they'll do some of those things too, but they're actually legally required by the government to have to check a box on certain things like that. And so it's different when that's your nature. So that's kind of the concept. So anyway, I love when I moved to Kentucky, I did this really anal spreadsheet, because remember, I'm organized, you saw my puzzle, and I figured out who in Lawrenceburg gives the best rates. The credit union did. So I thought, okay, we'll go into the credit union. I had no idea what a credit union was, not a clue. And I went in there, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. I kind of like this place. It's so different looking. It's a different feel. And I had told my husband when we moved to Kentucky, I was not working, because I had been in an earlier career where it was like 8 a.m. to midnight every single day. It was crazy. I'm like, nope, I'm a stay-at-home mom from now on. And we go in there, and we see this little part-time job go by the screen. He's like, hey, get a job, pay for my hobbies. And I'm like, I do like this place. And so I picked up a part-time job as a teller, in my older years, and now I am running a department and loving it. And this has been my favorite career I've ever had. So, and it's because I love the culture of the credit union. It's just anyway. So I could talk about it all day. But what I'll have is Michelle tell you where we are in case you want to come see us.
So we have 17 branches across Kentucky. Our newest one is actually in Richmond. But in Lexington, we have 2, one at Meyer Way, which is close to Fayette Mall, and then we have one on Sir Barton over in Hamburg, and then you can see our other locations as well.
Okay.
And so we also have a really good digital banking app. So some of you will like to go into the branch. They still want that one-on-one person, face-to-face connection. But with our digital banking app, you can pretty much do everything with that now. So it's really cool. Is there anything you wanted to share about the digital?
No, I mean, I just, again, going back to COVID, everything turned
changed,
digital,
yeah.
right? And so we were in a fortunate enough situation as a credit union, even though we are a not-for-profit, we still had a good net worth to be able to handle the operations so that we could provide something powerful like that for our members and community. So that's how we did that. So. All right, that was a lot. I don't know, anyway. So I am curious, what questions, anything, comments, questions, anything? Yes?
I'm a member, I also have a loan.
Okay.
They don't have a roundup thing that can go directly towards your loan, do they?
No, but what you can do is like when you round it up quite a bit, you can go, okay, let's put that extra towards my loan. So do you use the mobile app? Okay, because man, you can just transfer easily, into things. So that would be good. Anybody else? Thoughts, questions? Yeah.
So are there any options to put like a savings to just sit and accrue interest on its own? Like what other options are there to make money off of the money that is put into the
Okay, yeah, we have a couple of things. We have certificates, CDs as well, definitely. But we also have something called it's a personal goal savings. So basically it earns a little bit more than a regular savings, but keeps your money fluid still if you need it to be that way. And you can set a goal and put money into that account specifically, and it earns a little bit of a higher interest rate than a regular savings account does because you're specifically doing it for a goal. But we do have certificates where you have, you have $1,000, $10,000, whatever you can put into certificates and things like that. We also have wealth advisors that we can get you with to figure out bigger things to do as well. So yeah. Absolutely. Yes?
Based on that, basically a high yield savings, what is the rate on that?
Those are not in my head. So, but what we will do, Will will go over to you, and he's going to have you pull up the CCU app or the CCU website on your phone, and he will get you to our rate page. And you can look at stuff. So we don't have an official high yield savings, but we have products that are like that run like that. So the power, people are loving the power checking. It's really cool because you keep that checking going, but if you keep that high balance in there, you're getting a good return on it. So, anything else?
You have, you get, part of one credit union and get a checking account in another credit union.
Absolutely.
Just, you don't have to be one credit union only.
Oh, no, you can be a member at 2, 3, 4, 5 credit unions if you want to be. So, yeah, you absolutely can have an account at multiple places, whether it's credit union, bank, whatever. Yeah, you actually have the freedom. Yeah. Anything else? So my office is in our Louisville Road branch in Frankfurt. So it's one of our main, I don't know, we have like 200, 250 people in back office branch and stuff there. So that's where I am. So, and that's where Michelle is. Will, this is his last day there because he's moving to a different area. Well, you will still be in that building some. But you'll be at Hammer, because he's gonna actually do some training. He's gonna go into operations training, so, and we're gonna cry and miss him, because Will's great. So, anything else? If you will do us a favor, we love to hear how things impact you. And we have a very, very short, if you wouldn't mind, filling out like what's something you learned or plan to change today. If you would fill that out for us, that gives us good information to know if we're on the right track and teaching good stuff, or if there's other stuff we should be teaching, which we have a whole list if you ever want us to come to any certain areas. So we got a lot. So anyway, and you can continue to ask any questions or come up and see us for anything. Oh, how was the chicken salad?
It was good. I think it had pineapple in it.
Pineapple?
Pineapple.
You're not sure.
It was good. I mean, it was refreshing.
Okay.
It was unique for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But it had the almonds though, right? You can sliced almonds, but I'm really glad that Will knew that so that nobody went into anaphylactic shock during the presentation. So thank you. So pineapple. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Good. Glad to know. All right. Again, we're here. We'll be happy to answer any questions. I think the room, we have it until 1:30, so we can hang out. And if you want to come see us, we'll actually, if anybody really just would like to open an account today, you actually can. You brought your iPad, right? He can help you open an account online in just a couple of minutes. You need your driver's license. What do you need? Here, Will, come here.
All you just need your driver's license. It has to have your current address on it. If it does not, I'll need like a utility bill, something that's tied to a residence. And then you'll just need a debit card so you can make your $5 deposit. That's what we require for the credit union to hold your place as a member.
Yeah, so that $5, it opens any of your, you can open a checking account, savings account, all of that for just that $5. You don't have to have like $250 to open the account. And it does freeze in your account. That's your membership. Oh, I didn't tell you this. So the credit union that's so great about it, since you're a member and an owner, you own that credit union. If you have $5 in your account or if you have $500,000 in your account, you have an equal voice. And annually at our annual meeting, if you have a question, you have a concern, absolutely, we will hear that. And that is another great power of being part of a credit union cooperative. So anyway, come see us, come talk to Will, and we appreciate getting to be here with you and go, put your personal into your own personal finance.